guys, it's Bryony. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you probably the easiest cupcake recipe you are ever going to come across. I really wanted to make this video for you because this is the recipe that I have known by far the longest in my life. I even knew how to make it off by heart by the age of 6. It's that simple. Now this is not the recipe you're going to go for if you're looking to make the best cupcake in the world or you're looking for a super fancy one, but this is the cupcake recipe that you go for when you're feeling lazy and you just want something sweet. The basic version of this recipe only has 4 ingredients and you probably already have them in your cupboard. But I am going to show you a couple of things you can add in at different points in the recipe to make it even better if you wanted to. Let's get started. So to make this recipe, you will need these 4 ingredients. You'll need some sugar, caster or granulated. You then need some eggs. I'm using 2 for this recipe. Some self-raising flour and some butter. I'm using salted, but you can use unsalted too. The first step is to weigh the eggs. Now this is the trick to this recipe because you're basically going to use the same weight of these eggs with every other ingredient. So in this case they weigh 117 grams. So I'm going to start by putting 117 grams of butter into the large bowl. I'm then going to add 117 grams of sugar. As I said, you can use caster or granulated for this recipe. You then want to mix them together. I'm using a spatula here, but you can use a spoon or a knife to do this. You want to mix them together really well though. Make sure the butter is soft before you do this, it'll be a lot easier. Then you want to crack in both the eggs to a small bowl and whisk them really well together. When you've finished whisking your eggs, you're then going to take about 1/3 of this egg mixture and pour it into the butter and sugar and then beat it together again. You do want to take the time to beat these well together because it is going to make the next stages easier. Then I add the next 1/3 in and repeat the process, whisk it together. If you do it in stages of 1/3s, I find it's easier and more manageable to do. So when you've finished adding them all together, the next step is to add in the flour. Now you want to get the back on the scales for this bit because again we need 117 grams of self-raising flour. Now at this point you have the option to add in some extras to make the recipe a little bit different. You can either add in some vanilla extract to make them vanilla cupcakes, or you can add in some cocoa powder to make them chocolate cupcakes. Just add in about a tablespoon of cocoa powder if you want to do that, and about a teaspoon's worth of vanilla extract if you want to make them vanilla flavoured. Once you've mixed it all together, you're going to get a really thick batter like this. That is correct, don't worry about it, it is supposed to be thick. I'm then going to take some cupcake cases and lay them out on a tray. I think I did about 12 here. And then I take a tablespoon and a teaspoon because I find this works best to spoon the mixture into the cupcake cases. And you just want to basically repeat this process over and over until you've put all the mixture into the cupcake cases. When you spoon the mixture into all of them, you can then take the bowl and scrape it and add any extras to any of the cupcakes that you feel are a little bit on the low side. And then you want to take it and pop it into your oven for around 12 minutes. At this point, take them out of the oven and give them a check. I found that mine were done. Just press them and tap them lightly and they should be nice and spongy. I then got a wire cooling rack and moved them over onto this so that they would cool down a little bit faster. And there you have your really easy 4 ingredient cupcakes. So your next option is how you're going to ice them. You can use either some icing sugar, some chocolate spread or some jam. I'm going to go for icing sugar because I like this icing the most. I'm basically sifting here about 100 grams of icing sugar. You don't need to sift it, but it does make it less lumpy if you do, so it is worth the effort. I then added a tablespoon of water to start and stirred that into the mixture. You want to be careful not to add too much water because it will go runny very quickly. So start with about a tablespoon and then gradually go up. I think I ended up using about 2 tablespoons in the end of water with this mixture, and you want it to look like this, very thick, very gloopy icing. It's the best way to make this water icing. Then just spread it out onto the cupcakes using the back of a spoon like this. They're not the most aesthetically pleasing, but they do taste good. And there you have your super easy and tasty cupcakes. So there you have it. There are some super simple, easy to make cupcakes. Like I said, the simplest recipe you'll ever make because you don't need to remember any measurements for it. You just need to remember to weigh the eggs and then you put the same amount of each of the other ingredients in as the eggs weigh. It's just the perfect quick bake to make when you feel like something sweet but you don't want to put a lot of effort into it. So I really hope you enjoyed watching this video, guys. Like I showed you in the video, there are other ways to make this a little bit more fancy. So you can add in some vanilla extract, you can add in cocoa powder to make it chocolatey. You can also add cocoa powder to the icing as well if you want to make chocolate icing. You can add in chocolate chips, you can add in hundreds and thousands or sprinkles as you call them in the States to the mixture to make them more like funfetti. It's a really adaptable recipe, which is what makes it so great, but the base recipe comes out looking like this and it's just the perfect little sweet snack when you're craving something sugary. Thank you for watching everyone, do please subscribe and I will see you soon. Bye guys, have a great day.